Hello everyone. In this video I want to talk about EVE Online and whether you should play it in 2026 or whether it's still worth it. Because that question comes up quite a bit still. And yeah, I thought I will just share a bit of what I think and how I approach it, how I like just in general think about these questions. And yeah, let's get started. In the background, you can see a bit of mining I'm doing right now. It's really just to have something nice in the background, so nothing too serious. Um, but yeah, let me start with what actually makes EVE Online different from other MMOs and why I like it so much. So I've been playing EVE since 2018 is where I really got into it. More on that later. Um, so I've been playing for quite a few years now, and what I really love about this game is like the player-driven economy. I'm sure that a lot of people already heard about these talking points, like most of the stuff in the game is created by players for players. For example, the ships that you can see here on my screen, all three of them, they are created by other players, and I had to buy them from other players. And this goes for the equipment inside of the ship as well, like the mining laser upgrades, the shield hardeners,
The
and
asteroid
everything.
is depleted.
This has been all built by a
The
player,
asteroid is
and
depleted.
I had to buy it off a player. Now, this is an this is the aspect that I really love about Eve, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the next thing, which is also like player-driven politics. So, if we take a look at the map, in Eve Online, first of all, you have a lot of systems, like all of these individual dots, the circles here, they are all systems that you can go to. So there's a lot of them. And inside nullsec, which is like systems with a low security system, it doesn't matter what it is for now. But these can be owned by players, or rather by corporations and alliances. Think of them as guilds. And these often fight for the space, right? They want more of it, they want to get more resources, so they have to fight for the space. And yeah, this is also something I just really love about the game. Another thing is the lore, and I think the lore is actually like the lore aspect of Eve. I think is quite underrated, um, which is partly to blame on CCP, the developers of the game, because a lot of the lore is reading material. And the game is, of course, quite old, so there is a lot of it. And if you want to really get into it, so there are YouTube videos and stuff, like also from the official EVE Online channel. But if you really want to get into the lore, you will have to do a lot of reading. Um, and it's worth it. It's definitely worth it, but it is a lot. So that's something to keep in mind. Um, Another thing is the graphics and the sense of scale that you get. So let me put on the UI. So I can zoom in to my ship like as much as I want. This is like as near as I can go. On the other hand, I can also zoom out a lot. And most of the time, so me personally, I spend a lot of time zoomed out quite a bit. It's just convenient for me personally. Um, But like when I'm mining and just relaxing, then I like to play like this as well. There is some situations where it makes sense to be zoomed in, where it makes sense to be zoomed out. But other than that, it's like I guess mainly what you prefer, how you prefer to look at it. But the sense of scale in this game is crazy. There is really nothing like it. Maybe, I mean, I guess that the next thing that would come close is probably Star Citizen. Which of course is like very different in the way you navigate the game and so on. But I would say it's I get the same feeling of scale in Star Citizen. Besides that game being, I guess, kind of trash, it's still not finished and whatever. But that's a whole discussion in itself, right? Anyways, you have how do I explain this? The sense of scale you get in this game, yeah, there really is just nothing like it. From like tiny frigates to capitals to even super capitals like Titans, which are like kilometers long, right? There's simply nothing like this. And for some reason, this really tickles my brain in a specific way. Um, And yeah, I mean it's a beautiful game, right? What can you say? It's just damn beautiful. The CCP art team easily one of the best. It's such a beautiful game. Just look at these ships. It's just such a beautiful game. And another thing that I really like is the complexity and the depth of a lot of the mechanics and systems. So me personally, I love industry. I love mining. I love building things. It's in the game. It's called manufacturing, which is, I guess you could say, crafting, like crafting ships, crafting the equipments for the ships, and so on and so forth. Even like the stations, right? Like the stations where you can dock. Most of them. Oh well, I'm actually not sure if it's most of them. I would assume so, but let's let's say a lot of them are player built. There are NPC stations which are not owned by players. They are owned by the four NPC factions, um, and these have been in the game. Like no one had to build them or anything like that. But the player stations, they have to be built and placed by the players. And the industry in this game can get really complex, especially if you want to build capital ships or Tech 2 items, Tech 2 ships, Tech 3, and so on and so forth. And yeah, I guess one thing on the player politics and like player economy that I really like is also like the meta game, you know, like you have these alliances like guilds, or well, corporations are guilds, but alliances are made up of corporations. And there's just like, especially in bigger wars, you know, there's salt, there's drama, there's fun, basically, you know. You probably have heard of stories with espionage and there's the story of one guy cutting off the electricity of another player, and crazy stuff happens. Not saying that this is good, but crazy stuff has happened in Eve, and I'm sure more crazy stuff will happen. And so yeah, if you're wondering, so if you're interested in this game and you might think, "Oh, there's some rats. I quickly have to do. I'm sorry. Yeah, they will sort it. I got the drones out. Um, so if you're wondering, so what can you even do in this game, right? I mentioned already some stuff, but um, there's of course PvP, which is a huge aspect of the game, and which is probably something where you really have to be honest with you, I guess. Like, if you don't like the PvP part, or if you don't like PvP, let's put it like this, then you will not enjoy EVE Online. I can almost guarantee. The nuance I would like give here is if you are interested in playstyles that maybe don't even uh, need you to undock. For example, let's say you just want to trade items on the markets, then you will never have to undock or barely have to undock. So you can pretty much ignore PvP. Um, I guess like if you're just a miner, then the only PvP you will probably encounter is getting ganked, which does happen. But I would say it's still something like you could still play, I guess. But if you hate the idea of PvP that you don't consent to, then you will not enjoy this game. Because in EVE Online, having your ship destroyed, it's just natural. It's just part of the game. That's just how it is. Ships are ammunition, is what a lot of players say. And yeah, it's true. You will lose a lot of ships, and a lot of the times you are in a situation where you maybe don't want to PvP or where you don't expect the PvP, right? But maybe some people will just come and find you and they will try to like shoot your ship. And yeah, so but that out of the way, let's say you are okay with that. So what kind of PvP is there even? You have small gang PvP, which is yeah, like PvP with a couple of people. You know, let's say, I don't know, 5 people, 10 people, maybe 15 people, something like that. And then you have faction warfare, which is like PvP in low sec systems where you basically fight for one of the NPC faction uh, against another. And then you have like hunting and roaming, which is where you like fly through systems and try to find other people that are maybe doing some mining, like me right now. And you try to kill them. And then, of course, you have wormhole PvP, which is like a whole thing in itself. I'm not gonna go into too much detail here. And then you have like the big fleets, you know, the ones you hear all the stories about. I was recently in a couple of big fights with over like 10,000 characters in one system. These are like the fights that you always hear about, the world record breaking fights and so on, right? um, but yeah, that's for the PvP part. And for PvE, you also have like a couple of options. Like the game really has a lot to offer. You can do something called ratting, which is going out and killing NPC ships. So for example, this right here, this is an NPC ship, which is like it just warped into the um, asteroid field where I'm mining right now, and it's trying to basically annoy me, so I have to kill it. And if you go out and you hunt those NPC ships, that's called ratting. It's a good way to make ISK, which is like the money in EVE Online. And there's a couple of variations of that as well. So you have like something called abyssals, which is like, I guess you could say a dungeon. There's PvE event sites, there's escalations, there's quite a lot to do. And then you have, of course, mining, the whole industry path. You have planetary interactions. You have building ships, building items, and so on and so forth. There's like a lot to do. But I'm not going too much into detail here because I mainly want to cover whether the game is for you, could be interesting to you, right? Um, Another thing that I should mention is the social aspect. The game is really complex and has a very steep learning curve. If you are not willing to play with other people, then you should be prepared for a much harder time. Some aspects of the game will straight up not be accessible to you. Some more obvious, like big PvP fleets than others, but you should keep that in mind. The game does live from the social environment that you are in, right? Um, a lot of people say that social in EVE Online is what really makes the game. I get where these people are coming from, but I personally don't agree that much. Like, you can be inside a corporation, but you don't have to talk to them all day or something like that, you know? Just just by being inside a corporation, which again you can think of like a guild, already opens up quite a lot of the game to you. And yeah, just keep that in mind. You don't have to, I don't know, chat on Discord or TeamSpeak or whatever all day, right? That's definitely not needed. Although if you want to do that, you will definitely find people to do that with, no questions. That's definitely possible. Now, there are a lot of memes about how hard the game is. You know, like EVE Online is a online spreadsheet. It's online Excel, Excel in space. Then there is this meme with like the learning curves of different games, and you have EVE Online, which goes like this and that. You know, I'm sure you have seen it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, learning the game takes time. Not necessarily because one singular thing is very hard by itself, but more because of it's just a lot that you have to learn. There is just so much to do in this game, and you just have to learn so much. Um, And if you're not used to an interface like this and the way you navigate in the game, then yeah, it's probably gonna be hard. Like I won't sugarcoat it. And for me personally, it has taken 4 attempts in total until the game clicked for me. And that was over the course of a couple years. If I think back, so like I said, in 2018 was when it kind of clicked for me, and I had a friend at that time who kind of yeah took me like he was kind of like a mentor to me, you know, which really helped because it's just so much. Like you are already overwhelmed by just the UI of the game, and then you have all these systems that you have to learn. And again, they are not necessarily hard by themselves, but the speed at which you have to learn all these systems in order to properly navigate the game, that is hard and it takes time. So if you are a player who doesn't have a lot of time, I think, in my humble opinion, Eve might not be the game for you. And I'm not saying that it's not possible to enjoy the game if you have, I don't know, an hour a day or something, right? I'm sure there are people who enjoy the game like this. In fact, I know people who enjoy the game like this, right? But especially when you're starting and you have to learn so much, like, I mean, I don't want to discourage you either, right? But just in my humble opinion, if you don't have much time, it, it might not be the game for you. And again, just my humble opinion. It's a game that you have to immerse yourself in, I think. That's when EVE Online is the best. When you can really immerse yourself, when you can absorb everything this game has to offer, the whole universe, right? Everything that this game has. Not necessarily from like the view that you do everything, but just like exploring everything, reading about everything, trying different things out, and just navigating from system to system in this game, like going from point A to point B, right? If I open the map here, I'm in this system, right? This is where I set my home to. This is 4 jumps. It's not far, but each time you have to go and like search the gate and you click on jump and then you travel there, which takes time depending on your ship. And if you have to travel a lot further, right? Let's say, I don't know, let's say here 19 jumps. That's already quite a bit, right? Um, I think EVE is just a game that takes time. And yeah, I don't think many people are willing to put the time in, or maybe don't even have the time. Maybe they are willing but don't have the time. But it's something I think you should be aware of. Because I really think the game is the best when you can really put hours in. That's just when the game is at its best, I think. Um, okay, that's for the time commitment. Um, Another thing that comes up often, and I'm just gonna dock up here real quick. Uh, uh, oh, wait. I need to get my drones in. I forgot about my drones. uh, Where's the photo? Oh, there. Okay. Okay, sorry. Um, the next thing, something that always comes up. Should I pay for the game or should I just play for free? You can. Okay, so there's two types of account status, so to say. There's something called alpha and something called omega. And the alpha status, the alpha clone, is basically the free-to-play way. Actually, I shouldn't put it in quotes. It is the free-to-play way. And I would say, so it's definitely possible to pay for the subscription via the in-game currency. Like you can just buy the Plex, which is like the item needed, or which is kind of the premium currency, so to say, with like the in-game money. You can buy Plex for real money and sell it for ISK in the game, and vice versa. Now, I personally don't think it's a good idea to play the game this way. If you are, if you have more than enough time on your hands to play the game, and if you are good enough to play the game like in a way that you already are quite efficient to make ISK, then sure. But in that case, you wouldn't need anyone to tell you, honestly. So if you're thinking about whether should I like play for free or should I pay for it, I would honestly say as long as you are exploring the game, like let's say you are new and you are just exploring the game, you are looking if the game is for you, stay for free. there's more than enough stuff you can do for free um, to like find out if you like the game. You could play months, if probably even for a year or two, if you really want to, for free, um, and you will be fine. However, I think it sucks out the fun of the game. And I say that as someone like, if I really, really want to, I could get enough is in one day to get like 30 days of premium for one of my characters. If I, it's like I'm not doing it because that's like a lot of work, but I could. But I still wouldn't recommend it. I think it just sucks out the fun of the game. And I mean, of course, if there's people who think differently, which is of course fine, right? Um, and I do say like it's 20 euro or something, I think, per month, right? Per account. So if you have multiple accounts, that's 20 euro per. Um, I will admit that by now I mostly don't pay for Omega with my money, but that's because like I played the game so much and I still play so much like I can afford to do it via ISK without it sucking out the fun of me. I just make more than enough ISK because I do so much industry, and I also like they often have sales for packages and stuff where you also get premium time, right? So there's also that. But yeah, to really boil it down, like stay free to play, to explore the game, to find out, to take your time with it, and once you feel like okay, I this game is for me, honestly, just even if it's just for your first account or for your one account, just buy Omega or like some kind of package, which is probably even a better choice. Mm, and yeah, continue to play. If you enjoy the game and you keep playing it, then you will probably arrive at some point at some time at a point where you can just um, buy the premium with the in-game money without having to actually work for it, um, or actually have to grind with that goal in mind. So I mean that you play what you want to play in the game and you make enough money anyways to buy the premium, right? You don't have to commit to uh, um, grinding it out just so you can buy the premium. And that leads all directly to another topic. Um, do you need more than one account? And I'm gonna say upfront, if you hate the idea that someone plays with 30 accounts at the same time, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you hate that idea, stay away from this game. Honestly, stay away from this game. Multiboxing, which is like running multiple accounts at once, it's at this point integral to Eve. And I honestly I would prefer it wasn't this way. I'm honest, but at the same time I'm also honest and say I have multiple accounts. I run 5 accounts, and I'm not like I personally don't do it in PvP really because honestly I just don't have the brain bandwidth for that. But there is people who will PvP with 30 accounts at the same time. And if you hate the idea of that, stay away from the game because you will encounter it pretty much daily, I guess. Depends on what you do in the game, but you will definitely encounter it. And of course, one guy running 30 accounts is like the other end of the extreme example, right? When you have like one person running one account here, then a person running 30 accounts is of course the other end of the extreme. Um, but that's how it is. Like, from my experience, most people run 3 to 5 accounts, which I think is also the sweet spot. You don't need them in the sense that it's unplayable if you don't, but it just makes everything more convenient. And the longer you play this game, the more you get into it, the more you come to value this convenience. Because at the end of the day, like for a lot of stuff that you probably want to do, you would need another player to do it. And yeah, that's just not realistic. Like even if you had like, I don't know, double or triple the player base, I still don't think you would have enough people to completely like kill multiboxing. I don't think so. There's just too much that you can do in the game or that you want to do in the game where another account is useful. Because you want to do stuff when you wanna do it, right? You don't want to wait until someone comes online and then you kind of have to ask them. And I mean, you can do that and you should, but because doing stuff with others is fun. But being able to do stuff on your own, well, it's kind of nice, right? So there's that. Um, and I guess for one question that you also hear a lot is like, isn't the game dying? Isn't Eve dead? I mean, the game is old, right? The game came out in 2003. Some some people play this game since 2003, which is crazy. I was 5 years old when some people started playing this game. That's insane. That's insane. And I know people from 2003 like who are still around playing. It's insane. Like there's characters in this game that were created when I was 5 years old. There's not many games where you can say that. um, so I don't know. There, you probably know the saying, right? But you can, which can also be applied to Eve Online. So the best time to start Eve Online was yesterday, and the second best time is today, right? In my opinion, the game has more than enough people to have fun. I have PvP constantly. If I can go PvP every day if I want to, for hours probably. So I don't know. I think personally the game is in a really healthy state. The last expansions have been really good, and I'm excited for the expansion that's coming out very soon, like this summer, which is also aimed actually at, well, I guess not. It is also aimed at new players. There's like a whole new region for new players, so it's actually a really good time to start playing now. Um, and the upcoming expansion will focus on faction warfare, so the PvP part between the four NPC factions, which you like when you create your character, you will choose one of the factions, and it's mostly lore. So you can just choose by vibes, I guess. Um, but yeah, keep that in mind. There's an upcoming expansion which yeah, introduces a whole new region. I can actually show it on the map because it's already in the game. You can't go there yet, but it's already here. It's Exordium, like this thing here. And yeah, I'm really excited for it. You will have or you will encounter a lot of people that have not many good things to say about Eve. And I probably should have put on that light earlier. Whatever. Um, in the game or in the community, these are called bitter vets, like bitter veterans. And I think especially like on the subreddit for EVE Online, you will honestly, the subreddit is crazy. Like I feel like 90% of the people who are on the EVE Online subreddit don't even play the game. They stopped, I don't know, 5 to 10 years ago or something, and they just are there to shit on the game or whatever. I think the game is in a good state. Yes, the game is old. Yes, there are bugs when the devs introduce something new, but they are quick to fixing it. Um, honestly, I just love the game. What can I say? I don't think that the game will die out anytime soon, really. And I think they are going in like a really, really, really good direction. Doing so much for new players. Like when I think back, like to 2018, the new player experience back then was already so much different than from what it is now. And like it's gotten better, much better now. And back then, people would have already said the same thing. Like when I started out, or when I really got into it, people would have said, "Oh my God, you should have seen the new player experience 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 15 years ago, or 20 years ago," right? So really, if you think you might like this game, honestly, just make a free account and give it a try. I will create an in-game channel. I will do that now actually, which I will call CiefaHelp. Great. And I will be in this channel from now on whenever I'm online. And you can join that channel and just ask me any questions you want. I am more than happy to help you out. And yeah, just again, if you have the chat open, you go on the plus, you go on channel name, and you type CiefaHelp, you click join, and you will join the channel. That's my offer to you. So if you're interested, give it a try. Don't listen too much to uh, people who, I don't know, shit talk the game or whatever. I mean, of course, keep an open mind to criticism as well. I've been talking a lot of praise to the game, but I have a critique for it as well, right? Of course, it's not a perfect game, not by a long stretch, but there simply is nothing like EVE Online. And I don't think there will be in the next 10, 20, maybe 30 years. And I think the game will still be around by that time. I genuinely think, given that nothing crazy in the world happens that will just destroy everything, right? I genuinely think the game will still be around and will still be healthy by then. So yeah, come join the game and have fun with us. That's really all I got for that today.